What's going on, family? Thought I'd bring you guys outside with me today and have this Scorpio Rising, Scorpio North Node conversation from a Scorpio Riser, Scorpio North Node person. So first, I just want to say welcome. And from my heart to yours, things will always seem like they're in a dark place, but you are never alone. And the lessons never end, okay? Because I don't want to be all super woo-woo and crazy over positive. But know that even though seems like you're always learning a lesson, right? There is elevation through everything, and you have to find a way to do it within balance. Thank you, Hawk, for the confirmation. I appreciate you. It's a hawk flying over my head right now. It's important to know that you are chosen. You have a chosen natal chart, a chosen destiny. You cannot avoid your consciousness. You cannot avoid your awakenings, and you will have many of them. You cannot avoid disruptions in your life that are not the same as other people, right? Because everyone goes through trials on this journey of humanness, but you are designed. Your natal journey, your life's journey is designed specifically for that. Got some spectacles on my glasses, and they like that pretty much. Got some splatter or something. Excuse me. Yes, so you cannot avoid those things. But you can learn to, and you will learn to do it. If you want to have your journey have any type of ease to it, okay? It will behoove you to learn it, to learn how to work with your chart as opposed against it. Now, if you don't believe in astrology, I don't even know why you're on this video, because I can't help that. And if you know you're a Scorpio rising, you gotta be into astrology to some extent to even know those type of things, right? So welcome. Okay, so I am a Scorpio rising with the Scorpio North Node. Now, honorable mentions, I am an Aries Sun. Okay, very Marsy. I'm very Marsy, and I'll get to that. But my North Node is in the first house, and I'm an Aries Sun. So autonomy is very important to me. Sovereignty is extremely important to me, right? The road to apotheosis is the destined road for me, okay? And I have gotten to a point in my life where I am truly okay with that. I'm okay with this road that supposedly I chose and agreed to. Oh, I'm not 1,000% sure if I, truly believe in that we choose these things, but I do know that I'm here, right? We are here. So whether we think we chose it or not, you're in it, okay? So it's best to instill yourself with all the tools necessary to ride this ride correctly, right? Know where the seatbelts and the handlebars are, right? Know where the brakes are. Know all of the tools that will help this journey be of more ease, be in more agreement, be in more of the flow of what it is, which is why I stress in every video and whenever I talk to people in regards to their life's journey, to flow with the energy. Know your chart. You know, you hear people, Mercury retrograde, this retrograde, oh my God, the sky is falling, right? And it may be for some people, but there's a lot of energies that don't, I'm just going to say pass me by without touching me, right? Doesn't mean I don't feel it, doesn't mean I'm not aware of it, doesn't mean that it's not happening. It just passes me by, right? So let's start off by saying this. Scorpio Risings. Now, if you've been doing your research in regards to Scorpio Risings, you know that your rising sign is the sign that people actually, that even though they may not see, that's kind of like who you really are, right? And so it's hard for people, it may be hard for some people to get to know you because you hold back initially in contact, right? You're very skeptical of why whatever is happening. You are very you like in-depth conversations, okay? You don't really like surface level things. You don't like trends, okay? Even though you may participate in some things that attract your attention and your interest, more than likely it's not because it's a trend. You just looked up one day and saw that it was a trend, but it may have been something that you've been doing, right? I was getting piercings and tattoos when it was very much taboo to do so. I was reading astrology charts when, you know, I come from a Christian-based family, as a lot of us do in America, right? It just is. I mean, not everyone does. I'm aware of that, but a lot of us do come from that. And my Christian background is strong. When I say we went to church every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes twice on Sunday, especially if it's like the first Sunday or the third Sunday, things of that nature. It was the Baptist doctrine that we were under. Now, you know, as a child, you do as you're supposed to, but when you grow into your own, you will find your own way, and it's not going to be the way that you were raised. Scorpio risers often are the ones who drift away. We're normally the black sheeps of the family, okay? If you're, you know, used to that term, if you know what that is, you know, we're the person in the family where it's like, you're not like one of these kids is doing their own thing, right? You're not like everybody else. You're not just listening and doing. We never listen and just do. We very much so probably are the person who's just like, why should I be doing that, for who, and who's winning out of this, right? Because you're Mars ruled. You're strategic. You need to know the why. Why are we going to war? What is this war for? Is it a battle or is it a war? And what type of strategy I need to use to not necessarily conquer this thing or win this thing, but to get along with this thing, right? Everything, you know, about being Mars ruled is not about aggression and fighting and da-da-da-da-da. And I get it, Mars, planet of war, it's been labeled. But there are other aspects of that you need to research and look into, okay? And then look into what is war. Why do people declare war? Excuse me. Why do people declare war? I'm outside, so this is what happens when you're outside. Why do people declare war? Why is it that I might like this? I think I will. Give me a second. I'm gonna light this. It's what's the name? Incense. keeps the bugs away. Yes, I like the incenses. This is not, it's a citronella incense. Because when I sit out here at night, instead of doing candles or a fire, you know, incenses normally let themselves out. You know, they'll stop burning after a time, or they'll burn out, and then, you know, it's less of a fire hazard. Okay, I'm on the rooftop. I don't need them problems. Okay, so what is war? And not just that we're angry all the time, because we're not. We're very loving people, okay? We're not angry all the time. We don't always want to fight. Everything is not a battle. But we are very strategic in how we handle situations and circumstances when it comes to dealing with the outside world, anything outside of us. You know, Scorpio risers can be the person that wants to look into the why this is happening the way it is happening. We may read books about it. We may go into study or focus groups. We may find something online that will help us understand the things so that we can strategically either move through it, around it, above it, under it, so we can be strategic in how we hone in on that in regards to self, right? My North Node placement is in my first house, which is why I mentioned that I was an Aries Sun. Okay, now my Sun placement is in another house. It's in the 6th house. I don't have an issue talking about my chart. It's in the 6th house. So for me, the 6th house and the 1st house go hand in hand. Okay, because the 1st house is very much so about self, and the 6th house is very much about routine activities, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly, anything that you do consistently, religiously, okay, on a regular basis, anything that you can do of service, right? So while helping myself, I help others. While instilling routines and daily and information about health and growth and wealth and financial gain. And one of my businesses is in travel. Anything that has to do with things that I have interest in, I can be of service in. Okay. The more I understand that, the easier life choices began for me, you know, in regards to work, or income gain, okay? Because I don't necessarily like to say work, okay? We a lot of us are, well, I am United States based, okay? I live in upstate New York. So capitalism is a big part of my life. Anybody who lives in America, capitalism is part of your life. Even if you work for yourself, even if you have sustained whatever you have self-sustained or have or are doing is around capitalism, okay? But I also know I will be well taken care of. The divine, you're chosen as a Scorpio riser and the North Node. You're chosen. You are always covered. And it is up to you in your humanness to make sound decisions that will not only be of service to yourself, but of service to others. You are very much a service of others. Prototype, character, aspect, those aren't the words I want to use. Hold on. You're very much a person, a human of service. I promise there is something in your life that you are doing that you are of service in, whether you are a mother or, you know, you work for some type of something in corporate America that, if you're a worker in corporate America, period, you're of service, okay? Even though you're getting paid for the work that you do, you're of service. If you are baking cookies for the Sunday course, or for your kid, you're upset. Anything that you do to offer to other humans is service. Now, whether you do it out of the kindness of your heart or it's an actual assignment, and what I mean by assignment is either you created a business around it, which means you have to, anything, what I mean by assignment is anything that you have to be dedicated to for a time span, right? Because as a Scorpio, things die and they rebirth. You're always Phoenix rising from the ashes through your life journey. There will always be something, okay? And I'm not talking about huge major life events like I've lost and that could happen, by the way, okay? I've lived in many different places. I lived out of the country. I've lived in Tampa. I've lived in other parts of the USA, and I've had to leave whole houses behind, fully furnished. I've had to leave unfinished work in some way, shape, or form. I've had to leave it behind and start all over. You may have to completely scrap something, not once, not twice, but all throughout your life journey, and start over. And becoming okay with that. It's a life of always letting go. Now, I'm not going to talk about South Node much, only because, not that it's irrelevant, but for me, it is. I'm very much a North Node walker. I am comfortable with my chart. I didn't like it at first, okay? I was like, oh my God, this is sound horrible. And then I found ways and collected tools to help me not only be okay with my chart, but use it to the best of my ability, to my understanding currently now, and as my understanding continues to elevate and grow, to have a life of ease, right? I don't believe in the hard road of nothing. I'm very much not into labels. I don't think that we need to be okay, so before I go here, depends on how severe your mental workings are, right? It depends on how severe your mental workings are, right? If you're struggling in an area to operate mentally in your life daily, then please seek help from professionals, right? And there's all kinds of tools now. There really is no excuses. There is BetterHelp, and I know there's some other mental health apps, and there is services probably in your local county or state that may give, and then you can Google professionals and find someone that does free 15-minute consultations, 30-minute consultations, and just have a chat with someone, right? Have a chat with someone about your thought processes and what it is that you feel or do, or how it is that you're operating on this human journey, so that you can be clear in your mind about where it is that you truly want to go, and where it is that you where it is you truly are currently right now, what tools you have to use, or what tools you can obtain to shift that, right? To be a little more comfortable for you, to be of ease, right? To be of flow. So even though I'm only talking about these two placements, it's very important to know your whole chart, right? Because what good is having a war strategy and execution without knowing your Jupiter information, on how things are going to expand, okay? Because a lot of people like to think, oh, Jupiter, the planet of blessings. Jupiter is an expansion planet. It will expand your problems, okay? It will expand your worries. It will expand your stress. It will expand your nuances if you are not in flow. So it is very important to know where everything is. Your Uranus, the shock and awe planet, how it comes in and disrupts, which is I have Scorpio in that as well, okay? But good things are always happening for me, okay? Me and my shadow are friends. Make friends with your shadow side. You know, I like to call the Scorpio North Node the sweet dream but a beautiful nightmare, because I like to think positive about issues and problems that I'm having. Okay, what us humans call issues and problems are really our opportunity for flow. It's really an opportunity for us to see that things that bring stress or conflict or disruption in our life are I'm sorry, the screen went dark, so I'm just checking. Are opportunities for us to pivot. That is, I always, when disruptions come, I always think, okay, lesson time. I go straight into lesson mode. And then I write all the pros and cons about what's going on. And then I look for solutions immediately. Good ones and bad ones. Right? And then Mars. I look for strategic ways to handle it with as least disruption to my life and lifestyle as possible, because I want to flow with the energy. I don't want to go against the energy. It took me forever to start this YouTube channel, right? Because I'm very much so business oriented. I have a big cluster in my 6th house, so solutions is a thing for me. Creating routines, being of service and habit, and coming up with solutions is a huge thing for me. And instilling those routines and solutions, right, in my life first. I am very much so the test crash dummy. I don't give out any type of information. Some people say advice. I give information. I don't give advice, okay? Because humans have the will to do what it is that they want to do. Okay, I nursed my father into his release of his avatar. Okay, he had colon cancer, and I'm a herbalist. And the one of the conversations I had with him is, I said, you can either fight or flight. Okay, these are your options right now, Dad, at 76 years old. You can fight or flight. Now, if you want to get better, 4 times a day, I'll make you a drink, and you will have to eat food. You will have to instantly change everything right now. Everything has to go cold turkey. No more chicken, no more steak, no more none of that. All of this got to go. I'm running him down the rules. And he was like, he was thinking about it. Now, my father lived a full life, okay? Fabulous, wonderful life. And my mother had a hard time dealing with him being down, because my father, provider, top tier, okay? Top tier provider. And it was like she had to come to terms with the fact that no one was going to service her the way my father did. You'll never get not saying you'll never get another man like this, but, you know, let's just face it, with age and do I really want to socialize and mingle to find no, and do that. Like, my mom is not about to go and hit the scene as a single older cougar. She ain't about to do that. So you know, that's a whole nother thing. She had issues dealing with that. But he sat and he thought about it, and he was like, you know, I lived a good life. I said, you did, Dad. You lived an awesome life. You have been covered. You have provided. You have done all the things that this journey entails for you to do. Okay? If you feel like there's more for you to do, then we can make sure that you're here to do that. Okay? I can make sure that you're here to do that. Okay? I looked up all the herbs in regards to cancer. I'm just like, listen, give me 7 days. You'll see a change. But this is what you're going to have to do. This is how it's going to have to be. And his thing was, you know, I'm really too old to be changing and doing regimens, and I don't even know if I want to be bothered with that, right? Because that is it right there when it comes to solutions, right? The solutions are there, but do you want to do the work? And as Scorpios, we know it's gonna require work. Especially if you're a North Node or a riser, you know it's going to require work. It's going to require work to go through the fire, to come out on the other side with new skin, with new hair, with new nails, with a new wardrobe. It requires work. It requires work to lose everything and then rebuild. And yes, everything does get a little better than it was the last time, right? Oh, but it's just the constant rebuild. It's exhausting. It can be. It can be exhausting. And at times it really freaking is. Like, let's just keep it 1,000 on this channel, right? Sometimes it just really is. It's like, oh God, it's annoying. I gotta find another house, and I'm gonna have to get furniture, then I'm gonna have to get the lights transferred and the gas. Then I'm gonna have to figure out this, and then I'm gonna have to figure out that, and can I get in a good area, and the kids gotta go to school, and I'm gonna have to change the buses, and I'm gonna have to yeah, I know all about it, Scorpio. I know all about it, darling. The rise and the fall, the ups and the downs. That phoenix rising from the ashes is not just an analogy, my dear. It's not just an analogy, my love. You live that thing. That new bird coming from the fire, and you literally burn to ash and rebuild. You literally burn to ash and rebuild. Okay? Literally. And there's a flow to it. And this is why I ask people to get to know their natal chart. Because you can predict to yourself, okay, there's a shift coming. There's going to be a shift coming for me. So let me start preparing mentally first for the shift. So that way, when you're in the thick of it, I already knew this was going to happen. So with me knowing my North Node is in the first house. I'm an Aries Sun. With me knowing, because I be knowing, that the shift is coming, I prepare mentally for it first. And then I start preparing anyone who cohabitates with me, which is my children. I don't cohabitate with men. And that's a whole nother, I don't cohabitate with men. No. That's a whole nother stream for another day. I prepare them. We're moving. The income is going to be less for the next 6 months, or, you know, XYZ is going on, you know, these things are going to have to change. You may not see as much of this anymore for the next 6 to 8 months, blah, 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 right? I shift my mind, I shift myself, and then I shift people around me. And then I start putting the solutions. I started working the options for solutions to heal the situation. And that's what I do with my mindset. It is healing situations so that I can go to the next level, and then I can help somebody else with that exact same thing or a similar situation, right? Moving, losing income, transferring residencies from state to state, transferring residencies from country to country, to give up your citizenship, to not give up your citizenship, because these are things that I've been through in life, right? Choosing what type of visa, if you want to be in a country for a few months, go to college, to not go to college, to work some type of trade, right? I keep a trade underneath my belt because no matter what, a trade will always get you out of some type of financial situation, right? So I normally tell Scorpio risers or Scorpio north nodes, keep to a trade, right? Whether it's doing hair, nails, welding, something, you know, something in an industry where there will always be someone hiring. Because as much as we probably don't want to work for somebody, if you have the trade and the experience, and a lot of times you don't even need the experience, you just need to have the licensing or the certification and things of that nature. And if you have that, you're most likely going to be able to produce an income. Hone the skills that you have. If you don't have a trade, if you don't have a certification or a license for anything, what other skills do you have? Do you sew very well? Are you great with plants? You great with nature? You know, I am an herbalist, so and I have multiple websites. Some are down, some are up, depending on what's going on in my life, right? But I've always been able to have an income. I've always been able to have an income. I've never not been able to have an income, because where there is no jobs or people, companies and corporations doing interviews but have no intent on hiring anyone, they're just like, yeah, we're interviewing. You know, there's a thing going around with Wells Fargo right now where they've been interviewing a bunch of people, but they haven't hired any of them. And that's a real thing, you know, because they needed to look like they've been proactively been part of a hiring pool. So there's that. But always have you a way to sustain an income, right? And I know it's like, oh, I don't want to sell on the internet and things of that nature. There's plenty of things that you can do where your face isn't seen, all kinds of things, right? I mean, there's links in the description box right now that don't work. But there's ways to get my attention in the description box if you want to get my attention. There's things down there where you can link and you can go to, and I have a website, and so if you need to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me. But when it comes to soul journey work, I am not big on like selling anything. You guys haven't heard me sell anything since I've been on YouTube, because the way, not only the way my chart is set up, but the way my human makeup is when people, and because, you know, I know my worth, I know how great I am at the work that I do, all of it. So when people reach out to me for soul journey work or in-depth conversations like the one similar to the one that we are having now, I explain to them that I don't have any issues having a conversation with somebody for 45 minutes to an hour about strategy. And I normally do that, and I have an Excel spreadsheet of people that I've already done that with. So when people double back, it's like, okay, now you're gonna have to, you know, invest, and not just in me, but in yourself. I invest in myself all the time. I'm always in some type of course, or webinar, or something that's going to and I'm not pulling cards today, but it's just funny how the work card flew out of this deck while I was talking. I should read that. I'm going to read that. I am now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. Am I not talking about service? Am I not talking about instilling your skills and your knowledge to supply for you? Scorpio Rising, Scorpio North Node. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. And he will. And you have to know this. And a lot of Scorpio risers are very spiritual, but refuse to engage in the spiritual work. They know they be knowing. They feel the energies. They know the ups and downs, but they do not want to do any of the work. And I'm not just talking about shadow work. Just work, period. Just go to school, okay? And I know school ain't for everybody. But if taking this course or being in school for 6 months to a year or in a 2-year program is going to benefit your life, you need to be doing that. Especially if it's something that holds your interest and is calling you and pulling you. Because 9 times out of 10, your human design is a generator. Which means you should be responding to the things that pull you. You should be responding to the things that nurture your curiosity. That tickles that curiosity in you, right? A lot of people get on YouTube and want to talk about Scorpio Rising, and all they want to talk about is the dark part. Like, we know Scorpios is the dark. It's the depth. It's the da. We go low when they go low. We go lower. We go to hell. We go below hell. Because I don't even, I truly don't believe that's a real place. So that's a whole nother thing. Hell is the life experience and conquering it, or triumphing through it, right? It's not about avoiding a place. It's about acknowledging that place. And yeah, I've been there, and it is hot, okay? If you're a Scorpio Rising or a Scorpio North Node, you've already been to hell. I promise you, you have been. Okay? You have experienced you have experienced something in your life that was just like, how am I gonna make it through it? Then you make it through it, and then here comes your next challenge, which is why getting your natal placement is important. And I will pin 2 websites in the comments where you can start, okay? And I'm sure if you're watching my channel, and it's possible, maybe not, you have already heard of these websites. And if not, listen, we have to start somewhere, because that somewhere is going to lead us to something else, and that something else is going to lead us to something else, and that something else is going to lead to something else. There is no, I have arrived here at my destination and I'm going to live life beautifully without any issues or problems in a Scorpio's life. Okay, especially if you have Scorpio in your big 3, especially if Scorpio is your North Node. There is no arrival to a destination, and if you're looking for a downside to this video, I guess that's it. There is no I have arrived moment, and there's nothing else to do for you. You will always be rising and falling. You will forever be phoenix rising your way through this life journey. Okay? Now it is up to you to decide, oh my God, this life is horrible. I'm tired of lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. Well, welcome to the school of being a human being, my love. There is always a test. There's always a midterm. There's always a pop quiz. And you'll be changing classes, okay? Whether it be math, science, English literature, history, political science, pick one. There's always a classroom that you're in. There's always a lesson to be learned. Okay? So I'm not gonna say get over it, but find a way to work through that. I love planes flying over my head. There's always a destination and a new destination. Planes are always lifting off and landing. Come on, lessons in this video. Spirit is wonderful. I love it. The hawk, the plane, the card, the flow. The flow. You must know that I know you want to be comfortable. And you will be. You will have moments of comfortability. And they may be for long time spans. And then it's disrupted. Because you are Scorpio, it has to be disrupted. The universe has to shake you up. You are here to lead people into awakenings, to lead people into understanding of shifts in their life, because you are the shift shaper. You are a chameleon. You are the person who you understand shifting more than anyone else on this planet. You understand ups and downs more than anyone in this planet. You may attract a lot of people who want to just unload on you. You know, you're a natural healer. We all have cell phones these days, and people still blow their horn and they pull up to people's houses. It's interesting. Now, and what's even more interesting is you blow the horn and then you'll call or text. It's like, I don't need all of those alerts. Anyways, my Scorpio North Node, know that what you see, the life that you are making for yourself, I am here to encourage you to see more of the good and less of the bad. You know, I was watching a Scorpio North Node video, and in the comments this lady was saying, she was like, I'm just tired. It's lesson after lesson after lesson. It just seems to never end, and it doesn't. Hi, my name is Natasha. I am a Scorpio North Node. The lessons never end. Hello, Natasha. Hello. The lessons never end. Okay, and just so that you know, it's not always lessons for you. Sometimes you are someone else's lesson. Know where your North Node placement is. Understand the ruler of that house, right? My North Node is in the first house. That is the house of I am. That is the self house. I am here to reinvent myself on a continuous basis while helping other people do the same for themselves, and know that it's okay to reinvent yourself. It's okay for change. I am so comfortable with change. When I have like completely changed my language about life and things like that. So when I move into a space and I go in and I clear the energy with the ceremony that I do, when I start building my home space on the inside, everything is removable. Nothing messes with the walls too much. Like, I don't nail anything in, right? When I put things on the wall, nothing is nailed in. When all of my furniture is usually something that can break down and be built back up, or I buy furniture that is easy to dispose of. Like, I don't invest in furniture that, you know, I can have for 10, 15 years. Unless, you know, I'm getting a serious crazy deal on it. And if you see it in my house, when the shift happens for my life, I'm normally giving those things away. Whenever I have shifts or I have to move or I always give away. I never sell anything. I always give away and bless other people with it, because 9 times out of 10, I've kept it in immaculate condition, right? My patio terrace furniture, it's put together furniture, but I can give this away. Some stuff I don't take out of the like I have a whole rhythm to my life now that I understand my node, that I understand my journey, right? And the more you understand your journey, the more you can work with it, the flow. And you will have these deep, deep, deep soul revelations within yourself about decisions that you've made, about the people that you're connected to, the situations that you're in, the way you earn your money, especially post-pandemic, right? As you can see, a lot of people have started shifting, even though they're not, okay, you know, I was talking to someone, they're like, I'm not quitting my job, but I did start ... Or I still did start looking into drop shipping, or I did start a body butter line, and I sell that on Instagram. So when I, you know, and it's nice to have that little income coming in on top of whatever else, you know what I mean? Or I did start a boutique, or I did start knitting and sewing and doing customizations of X, Y, and Z, you know. I did start doing high-end design Gucci jackets where I take the scarves and the dust bags and form it into something, right? There's a guy online who does that. There's a few people online who do that, right? So it's not about harping or staying stuck in the thought process of, oh, lesson after lesson, this life is so hard, this life is so hard, this life is so hard. You concentrate on the hard, it's going to get harder, okay? If you're mad about all of the lessons, just wait. You know, the last entity in this world you want to fight with is Source. Why are you fighting with Source? The provider of all things, the knowing of all things, the director of all. Why? Why would you fight with the energy that controls all energy? For what? Now that is a battle you cannot win. And all you're going to do is make your life hell. So instead, make peace with it, understand it, and flow. Somebody was to knock on my door today and be like, okay, we've repossessed this house and y'all got 30 days to get out. I am going to put together a strategy to be gone in 30 days and be comfortable by the 28th day. Okay, we're shifting. I'm gonna go and have a long talk with the source, with the universe, about my situation and circumstance, and ask it to produce options. You see, I got a time limit and a time frame. Now I know you. Oh my God. That was annoying. She's in a rush. Okay, so situations and circumstances, you know, and I know the universe, see that? The universe does not work on, the universe doesn't care about your rush. Doesn't care that you're in a hurry. Doesn't care that a physical being came to you and told you that you have 30 days. It will have the arrangement, and if you're not moving until the 31st day, you'll still be set up. It'll still be in the right time, right? Or you will have an option to carry you through into the next option. And here's another thing too. Controlling outcomes. I'm so sorry, my love. That is not a thing for you. Controlling outcomes. When I have conversations with clients and they're like, yeah, I need a guarantee, I'll be like, woo. I'm sorry. I'll be laughing at myself because sometimes I feel that way too. Like, I need a guaranteed solution. I need a guaranteed answer. I need a guaranteed. Yeah. Guaranteed solution. Child. A guaranteed solution. Yeah. Sources in a cash money ATM machine genie rubbing bottle. Like, it's going to give you options. You have to choose the best one that's for you, and then move. Take action. A lot of times it's going to be better than you thought. Most of the times it is. You see that you're in a situation, even though you may not like I don't like the neighborhood I'm in. You know what I'm saying? But my landlord is kick ass. Like, there's no way. And I rent a lot. I used to own a house. But I own land. I don't own a house anymore, but I own land. People like, you own land, but you rent. Why you ain't building on the land? Because I'm doing something else with that land, and my plan ain't your plan. You do what you want with your money and your land and your options, and I do what I want with mine. See how that works? It's very simple. And yes, I can be very feisty. I am very much so the per my last email type of female. You know what I'm saying? Can you please go back and reread? Am I short-tempered? Not anymore. I used to be. You know, I am very, because and for me, there's a difference in being Mars ruled and having major Mars placements, right? If you're Mars ruled, just because your sun is a fire sign that's ruled by Mars, or your rising sign is ruled by Mars, but you have a lot of water in your chart, a lot of earth in your chart, you know, you're going to be a different type of temperament of a human. You know what I mean? Your temperament is going to be different. But because my North Node is Mars, my rising is Mars, my Sun is Mars, my Venus is Mars. Okay? All Mars signs. In different houses, but all Mars signs. That's a lot of personal power energy in Mars. Fire. Right? So a lot of things with me are intense. I feel deeply about everything. When my kids don't take the garbage out, I have a breakdown with myself, and then I have learned to become a lot more emotionally intelligent when it comes to my fire. So before I used to now it's like, listen, garbage come every day, the same day, every week. Comes on the same day every week. I just need you to take it out, because we have 2 big major garbage cans in this house. I already take the bags, combine them into one. All you gotta do is take it out. All I'm asking is that you take it. All I ask that you remember the day and handle that. You know what I'm saying? I tell my kids all the time, I'm a dainty flower. I should not be taking out garbage. I should not be opening doors. I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that. And when y'all gone, I still ain't gonna do none of that. I promise you. Okay? And they're not here that much anyway. My kids are in their 20s, so that's a whole nother something else. I'm sweating. It is beautifully warm out here. I'm trying not to complain about the heat, because I really do love the heat. Mars ruled. Soak up the sun. So, Mr. and Mrs. North Node, let me just tell you let me be the encouragement to all of the Scorpio videos that are out there, right? That understanding your energy will help you understand your flow, which will help you have a better life, right? I'm in a shift right now, but I get up and I smile every day. And some days, yeah, I'm like, oh. And then I put on some music and I might have a tea or a coffee or whatever I'm feeling, right? And then I'll try to get into a groove of some sort. Maybe I'll answer a couple of work emails, check some inboxes, some DMs, look at the cash flow, how it's flowing, check in with my kids. I will completely do some other things that will distract me away from the situation, the circumstance that is uneasy to me right now at this very moment, because I can't think about it calmly or logically. I haven't weighed all the options in regards to the situation, whether I got time in regards to that situation or not. I'm not going to try to attack or combat or make a decision on anything that I am not clear about or have clarity forming around that situation, right? Because even though I may not have all the pieces, it's like, oh, it's time to do this. You know, this so-and-so has a deadline to be done by this date, and you have to have the paperwork in, and you know, things like that along that line. But I understand that even though this thing may not come through, or I may not be granted access to it, there's still other options. I may still have time, I may not, but I am always calming the shadow side of me that's in a panic because things are in disarray. Okay, I have talks with my shadow on a regular basis. I am the epitome of me. And my shadow walking down like we hold hands. Okay, I know you don't like me and this positivity. Come on, shadow. Let's work this out. Okay, you have to get over your ego. It ain't always about you, even though it is about you. But you got to work with other people in order to get an XYZ done. You know, you got to play nice in the sandbox for a little while. You have to be strategic. You're Mars ruled. Okay, it's very important for you to know that. You should study Mars, especially if you have a North Node and Rising in Scorpio. You should be studying Mars. You should be understanding how you can work with the energy and the flow of Mars for decision making, for your elevation, for your North Node walking. Now, I didn't plan on this video being an hour long, but we needed more than just 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes to talk about it, because, and on a different level, not all about your soul and the journey, and those things are great. Like you need to know that. You need to know to keep your soul healthy and to stay in tune with that. But my thing is you don't have a choice. It's your North Node. It's gonna come your way whether you want it to or not. So let those other people do those things, and then I'm gonna talk to you about how to strategically work with it that makes sense for the life that you are living. Everybody can't go out to the wilderness and just live, especially depending on the rest of your chart. Some of you have to actually live in the city. And you will find ways to have alone time and solitude with yourself, because you need that time to be strategic. War rooms are normally empty with just a few people in them, being strategic, right? You will find ways to do that, but you need to live in the city, right? Because maybe you are an intricate part of someone's corporation, maybe you're an intricate part of someone's political party, maybe you're an intricate part of someone's nonprofit, maybe you're an intricate part of something else that you're connected to, kids, you know, your job and being close to their school. All kinds of things factor into other people's lives. We can't just sit here and be like, you know, you you know, you like your solitude, you may hermit for long periods of time, and you may do that, but you still need to operate in this society because you're of service. You know, even from that movie Scream, right? The girl Sydney. I think this is the second one, where after all of that happened, she worked from home. She did not talk to people. She lived a life of solitude. But eventually she had to make her way back into the world. I don't care how long you stay in solitude. At some point, you're going to have to work with other people. You're going to have to, and I mean, she worked with other people the whole time, right? She was like a crisis service center answer call person, and she did it from home, which is great. You may be doing something like that now. And I'm not gonna say you need to go out and get groceries, you need to your doctor's appointments. You may have a life set up that Wendy Williams, her doctors come to her. She ain't gotta go nowhere. And with technology now, everything is online. But you know, vitamin D is good. Hello, son. Look at what it's doing to these shoulders. You understand what I'm saying? Like you still need to involve nature and other humans. as much as, you know, possible. How you doing? As much as possible, you know, rooftop to rooftop. My neighbors are beautiful. There is different ways to handle your situations and circumstances without being down about every change and shit that happens in your life. Oh, I really like that job, or I really like that house, or I really like that whatever. Pay homage to it. Say your thanks. Be grateful for the experience of it, because that's what you're here for, to experience it. Let it go and let the new thing flow in. Your lessons are continuous, North Noder. And welcome. Don't be down about it. Find ways to embrace the repetitive lessons on different levels, okay? Because there's always going to be lessons, especially if you're not paying attention to the rhythms and the cycles. So some things may double back around and around and around. It's like, okay, I'm done with this, right? Like the nagger or the kid that's mommy, watch this, mommy, can I, mommy, blah blah blah. Or the, you know, the student that's just like, but I don't understand, or I don't really get it, or can you just can you explain it another way? That's your life. But don't turn it into, try not to turn it into a thing of, this nagging situation is just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I can't win for losing. And like that language, I don't speak that language. I don't know what you mean you can't win for losing. All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind. I can never get enough. And every time I step into the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there. What do you mean? You are a winner, North Node. You are the winner. You are the chosen winner. I can guarantee that your human design is probably generator. Well, I can't guarantee that. There is no guarantees. But I'm going to say 90% of us are generators, right? We make the world go round. Of service. But you need to learn how to respond. You need to control your Mars and not let your Mars control you. And we know you can be a blank blankety if you want to be. But how wonderful is it to accomplish a thing without even pulling out your arsenal? I love it when I conquer issues and situations and I don't have to call a lawyer, or I don't have to send a final notice, or I don't have to have a stern conversation. Or I have the stern conversation and things fall in line. When things get more challenging is when I realize, oh, okay, lesson time. Lesson time, Natasha. And then I get out my handy dandy astrology book journal that I keep for myself. I have one for every placement. And I'll be like, okay, well, it feels like I'm in this energy right now. And I'll look at my chart and be like, you are. Okay. And this energy can last 2 to 4 months, 2 to 3 weeks, 1 to 2 days, blah, 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 blah. Whatever I'm feeling the strongest, the most, what's transpiring in my life. This is what I feel like I should be learning, or at least I should be working at, or at least I should be, looking at more effectively, because this is not something I want to double back around, right? I learned how to control my finances early because I don't want to have, we'll always have a fluctuation in finances, but I don't want it to be at my detriment to where I'm just like not earning any money at all in some circumstances, or, where I may feel like I'm more of a borrower instead of a lender, because, it's either a balance of both. I'm a lender and a borrower, or I'm a lender. I always like it to tilt to the being a lender part as opposed to a borrower part, because, as long as you're borrowing, it's very hard to lend. and that's just a fact of life. All I want you to understand, if you don't take anything else away from this video, my North Node and Risers, Scorpios, is that just try your best to find new ways to not be down on yourself about the lessons that you're going through in life, because there will be many more of them. And not only will there be many more of them, but your lessons, especially depending on where your North Node is placed, are going to help other people in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Even if you work in corporate America, the things that you are taking in life always incorporate into your work, and vice versa. Whatever type of work you do, whatever type of service you give that reciprocates financial gain. Actually, any kind of service that you give that reciprocates back to you. Okay? It's for everything. But I'm specifically, but I also mean that any service that you give that reciprocates financial gain. Be strategic, be thoughtful, be mindful, be knowledgeable, build your arsenal of knowledge, because that is where not only your survival skills lie, but it is also where your Phoenix Rising lies, right? And remember, phoenixes always rise from the ashes. There are no phoenixes that do not. Now, you may do it out of spite, you may do it out of anger, you may do it because, oh my God, I have to, and this is just da-da-da-da-da. But what I have learned on this journey is things that are not produced in love, effort, and some hint of, even though this is unpleasant to me, it will be of benefit, and I will have joy on the opposite side of it, as long as I carry that while going through whatever it is you're going through. It does end up being a happier place. It really does. Even if it's not the outcome you expected or really wanted. So, we just remember, you're the author and the finisher, my love. And you have more control than you think you do. okay? And you need to, just embody your God consciousness more. And again, knowledge is power, man. Know your chart, know your placements, and know your transits. Be strategic. Be Mars. You don't have to be an angry Mars. You just need to be a strategic Mars. And I'm not saying you have to be over pleasant or just pleasantries and extending all of this crazy niceness to people. It's cool to be kind. Like, it's a very cool thing to be kind, no matter what this world may portray. It's very cool to be kind. But just know, you're not here to play around. Play, have fun, but know that your assignment, is a shifter. You're a shifter. You're a shifter of cultures. You're a shifter of ideologies. You're a shifter of mindsets, theories, concepts, creations, and that's another thing too. North nodes and risers can be very artsy in all aspects of the word, whether it's actual art, drawings, paintings, sculptures, music, literature. Maybe a kick-ass crocheter, or what's that, needle pointer, but something. The creatives of the world, right? A lot of Scorpio risers and North noders are creatives. It is a blessing. You have a covering because you are Mars ruled. You have a covering as a riser, as a North noder. You have a covering like no one else on this planet, man. Embrace that. I think about that comment often, the lessons. Like, I could feel the heavy energy on this lady, and I was just thinking to myself, like, she doesn't know how blessed she really is to even be able to say that, the lessons after lessons after lessons. It's some people that unalive themselves or end whatever journey they go into homelessness, and just they opt out of being part of this world altogether. They don't want to do nada. I don't want to be of service. I don't want to be strategic. I don't want to be Mars. I don't want to be Jupiter. I don't want to be none of the planets. I don't want to do anything. I can't. I won't. And it makes me sad to know that the assignment has become so tumultuous to you that you don't want to take part in it at all, But who am I to tell you how to feel about your situation and circumstance, how to take in your lessons? I'm just someone who feels like, and know that I have, my life proves that I have, okay, conquered and gained knowledge in regards to rules and regulations of this operating world and the Americas, to know that I can operate in my natal chart. I can walk my North Node regardless of government entities, regardless of situations and circumstances, regardless of what state, county, city I live in, regardless of whatever political decisions are being made, regardless of whatever corporate decisions are being made, regardless of however the collective shifts, pre or post panoramic. I can still live out my North Node. I can still live according to my natal chart, and I can do it in a peaceful manner. And yes, I'm gonna have to take these lessons and blessings. And yes, I'm gonna have to take these lessons. And yes, I'm gonna have to take these and yes, I'm going to take these lessons, each and every one of them. And yes, I'm going to still be of service to other people, even in my own uneasiness, because what I have to offer them and what I'm going through is not the same. They don't correlate. Okay? I will still handle the situation I'm in and help someone. Yes, I will. I will still do that and help someone. I will do both. Because one, it is part of my North Node walking, and two, I'm always down for the lesson, because none of us know everything, and as much knowledge as I have, the greater it is. I've learned things about how to obtain money that I'm like, dang, I didn't even know I could do that, and or I didn't even know I was capable of doing X, Y, and Z. I didn't even know I could execute this thing until I talked to someone that's in it or knows more about it or things of that nature, or until I read a book about it. And it's like, oh, there's always a way to take in lessons, and it's what you think about the lessons. Your mindset is very important on this journey of North Node walking. How you feel about a situation, how you feel about a lesson that you're going through, even though it's like, oh my God, my house burned down. If you don't learn to smile through the what you feel is terror or terrible or terrifying or just horrible that's transpiring in your life, and I'm not saying get over anything, I'm saying move through it. Like I said, me and my shadow, we are besties, honey. And I have to tell her, you gotta chill, okay? Today's not the day for you to shine, my dear. We'll hold a meeting, and then we can figure out when you can shine. You know what I'm saying? Be blessed on your walk, on your North Node walk, and understand that, like I said, you are chosen, and whether you want to be or not, sorry, it is what it is. And know you have more to offer than you actually feel or think you may have. And I'll say this: when shifting changes arise, I get excited because I be like, ooh, some newness is coming. I'm about to get new wings. I'm about to get a new beak. I'm about to get a new tail. I wonder what colors they're going to be, right? I wonder how awesome this next new place I'm moving into is going to be. I wonder how you must combat the negative with the positive. And I'm talking about immediately, not waiting until you just cried for 12 days. Like, dog, cry, get it out, and immediately be like, oh my God, it's going to be so fabulous though when this is over. The amazing opportunities that are going to come out of this. The amazing opportunities that are going to come out of this. Happy Phoenix Risings, my lovely North Nodes and my risers. And understand that being in the depths and of the depths only gives you insight on how high you can fly. Blessings.